When celebrities and public figures put their personal lives on display, it's hard to resist the temptation to form opinions and make judgments about their behavior, which is why I created this video, of course. But I'm not saying that I'm a saint. I'm just commenting on what's happening and what has been put in front of me. It's important to consume media and information with a critical eye, recognizing that there may be multiple perspectives and agendas at play, and that the full truth is often more complicated than what we see on the surface. I mean, the first interview I heard was Mike Keketso's interview, because obviously that's the bigger interview. But so I backpedaled and returned to Andy's interview, and I had to listen to what he said, because they were painting him as like, oh, he's such a horrible creature. He has said all these horrible things. So I was just like, okay, what's the level of criticism that Andy dished out? And it turns out, yeah, he did say some things about his wife, about his ex-wife, but he didn't go that hard on Keketso. In Andy Muridzo's interview, he seemed to take a more measured and restrained approach to discussing his relationship with Keketso. Even when he was sharing negative experiences and opinions, he was very diplomatic about it, you know. Of course, he said she was kind of a hoe, but that was pretty much about it. He really didn't sit on her bumper like she then did in that follow-up interview. It's possible that he was trying to take the high road and avoid fueling drama, which he failed. Or maybe he just didn't feel as comfortable or empowered to speak his truth as Mike Keketso did. Regardless, it's interesting to compare their different approaches to sharing their stories and perspective. Mike Keketso, we can't really say the same for her in regards to speaking about Andy diplomatically. Definitely not.
Anna.
Mota Anna.
Mota actions yes touch.
Imba matano.
Imba yes bro.
Mike Keketso was much more forthcoming in their criticisms and accusations of Andy Muridzo, especially when it came to the alleged financial troubles and shady dealings about standing in front of someone else's farm and claiming it as his own.
Ndiye akadanana nemusikana izvezvi kuti wadanana nemusikana kana aine munda webeans dzaari kurima. Ndakatorwa picture kamira mudemo anoti ndiri kurima beans. Angatodzingwawo kumba kwemuzukuru wake. Iye nemunin'ina wake vari kungoita kunge ma-street kids.
Angadzingirwe.
Kutodzingwa kukunzi manyanya kugarisa panapa.
Not having anything of substance to his name, I mean, she was just like all over the guy. I mean, publicly revealing that he sold a Mercedes-Benz gifted to him by a controversial figure by the controversial figure Wikinew. Mike Keketso definitely made her feelings about Andy Muridzo known and gave the public a lot to talk about. But you know, one thing I found weird though is, if they have so much bad blood like Taylor Swift, why are they still even working together? I heard they even recently shot a video together and the guys were actually kissing in that video. That is definitely strange. You think there's so much bad blood between Andy Muridzo and Mike Keketso, they would want to keep their distance from each other, in both personally and professionally. If your marriage was that tumultuous and you hate him that much, why would you agree to work with him? But it's not unheard of for ex-partners to continue working together, although for me, it is unheard of. I would never work with my ex. Maybe they feel like their professional collaboration is worth the personal drama, or maybe they're just trying to work through their issues by maintaining a connection in some form. Either way, it is definitely adds another layer of intrigue to this story. It makes me wonder whether if this is just a public stunt or not, though. Because it's certainly possible, given the tumultuous nature of Andy Muridzo and Mike Keketso's relationship. It's not hard to imagine that they might be using their public drama as a way to generate attention and buzz for their music careers. After all, they just released a new video. I'm just saying. And just so you know, this video is already approaching 100,000 views. And it's already the biggest video on DJ Ola's channel of 2025 so far. Yeah, it's already the biggest video of the year, and it hasn't even lasted over a week. It has doubled the views of Andy's podcast, who's the original celeb. I know it really says a lot about us as the social media public, right? It's pretty wild to see how much attention Mike Keketso's interview has gotten. It just goes to show how hungry people are for juicy celebrity gossip. Maybe sometimes even more hungry than the actual art itself. even when it comes to at the expense of someone's personal life. But it also raises interesting questions about the role of social media and public opinion in shaping celebrity culture. On one hand, social media gives people a platform to share their stories and perspectives, even if they are not in the public eye themselves. On the other hand, it also creates kind of like a court of public opinion that can be harsh, judgmental, and lacking in empathy. So while it's okay to have opinions and reactions to the stories that celebrities like Muridzo and Keketso share with us, it's also important to approach these stories with empathy and nuance and recognition of our own biases and limitations. It's possible that Keketso was being completely honest and candid in her interview, revealing uncomfortable truths about Murizo's behavior and character to his fans. But it's also possible that she was exaggerating or even fabricating some of her claims out of the desire for revenge.
Gitu nih kau tulis sini online aja. Bagi baru tu marah marah. Ini mau gitu.
Or to damage his reputation. Relationships are complicated, and it's not uncommon for ex-partners to harbor resentment or ill will towards each other, even if they eventually reconcile. In the end, we can only speculate. While it can be tempting to seek revenge or justice by publicly shaming someone who has wronged us, it's rarely the most effective and productive way to resolve conflicts and or address personal issues. In fact, smearing campaigns can often backfire, causing more harm than good and damaging the credibility and reputation of the accuser as well as the accused. It's important to handle the interpersonal conflicts with empathy, compassion, and maybe a little bit of privacy, and focus on finding mutually beneficial solutions rather than resorting to public shaming or character assassination. I think ultimately it comes down to personal values and perspective on how to best handle these conflicts and share personal information. Some people might applaud Keketso for her boldness and honesty, while others might find her approach a bit too aggressive and self-serving. While the male gender of Zimbabwe is more concerned with her over-aggressive and humiliating approach to the matter. Even when it's tempting to jump to conclusions or take sides based on incomplete or one-sided information, there's one person who commented on the video that the next podcast should be done with both of them present, and I totally agree. That's a splendid idea. Having both Andy and his scorned ex-wife present for a follow-up interview could provide a more nuanced and balanced view of their relationships and the issues that have arisen between them. Not only would it give Muridzo a chance to respond to Keketso's claims and offer his own perspective, but it would also provide a platform for both of them to engage in a constructive dialogue about their relationship and how they might move forward either together or separately. And most importantly, it will show us who is lying and who is not. Because at this point, it seems like their stories are just like oil and water at this point, and they are clashing on every metric. Plus, it would make for some pretty fascinating and potentially explosive viewing, which is always a bonus. So DJ Ola, please hear us on this one.